Guys of Reddit who have rejected someone, what's the worst way someone has taken it? Story 1. Too long didn't read. She got engaged to make me realize that she was my one true love and then threatened to unalive herself if I didn't elope with her. Girl who I saw just as a friend and never flirted with starting dropping really obvious I'm in love with you things in text. I can't wait to go out on a date with you, I can't wait to kiss you, etc. I told her I wasn't interested that way. She kept pushing until I told her I was dating someone. I wasn't. And she sent me a really angry text message and disappeared. She started dating someone and got engaged, so I thought I was home and free. Until she messaged me the night before her wedding. Basically, she said she just started dating the other guy to make me realize how much I loved her and wanted me to save her from a marriage to this awful man. I told her no. Then she said she'd just swallow a bottle of pills and wouldn't go to the hospital unless it was on the way to Vegas to elope. I called a mutual friend and told him what had happened and proceeded to block the crazy girl from everything. Turns out she hadn't actually swallowed a bottle of pills, was just being crazy. Why do I have the feeling the guy she was marrying wasn't the one that was awful? Story 2. I once went on an internet double date. My friend had been internet dating this woman for a while and needed a driver to go meet her for the first time. To help convince me to drive, they arranged one of her friends to come with. When we got to the meetup spot, a few cities over, the friend wasn't there, stuck at work. So I was forced to play third wheel, watching my friend and his girlfriend profess their love and make out. Needless to say, when my friend finally showed up, I was overjoyed. She misinterpreted my "thank God someone to talk to" reaction for a "oh my God, love at first sight" reaction. For months afterwards, I'd get multiple emails and phone calls a day, with the craziest example being an email with our names, "Together Forever I Loved You," typed out once for every day since we'd met. She also apparently went to my work once, but I luckily wasn't there at the time. I was on the verge of calling the cops after that stunt. Eventually, my complete lack of responses to her communication, and after blocking several of her email addresses, it tapered off, but I'd still get random phone calls and emails from her even years after all this happened. Story 3. I dated a girl for a week when I realized she just wasn't my type and wasn't hers, so I told her we would go our separate ways. Her way, however, was to stalk me for 3 freaking years because we were meant to be together for life. Highlights were making fake internet accounts of other girls dated in those 3 years, and knowing frightfully much about me and these girls while writing me. Impersonating them, calling me every day. When changed numbers, she called every other person in my life she had the number of. Trying to date people I know in my life, making weird collages of me on her Facebook, making up fake stories of her and me, and many, many more. Thank God it became less and less after long and exhausting talks with her to make her stop on and on again. I haven't heard from her since 2015. Story 4. Lying to me that she had become pregnant and intended to keep the kid. We always practice safe spicy time, but condoms have a non-zero failure rate, and there's no good way to tell someone who says they're pregnant that they're wrong, so I took her at her word. After 3 weeks of her stalling and showing me any kind of proof beyond her word, she told me it wasn't going to be a problem, but was beside myself with stress until then. Meanwhile, I'm figuring out if I need to lawyer up. I take responsibility for myself, so being a deadbeat wasn't an option. But child support was going to throw a huge wrench into financial plans. I was in the middle of moving to a new city as well. All in all, it sucked. Near as I can tell, her goal was to inflict stress and pain. She succeeded. Now that sounds like a totally mentally healthy individual. Why'd you leave her? Story 5. Me and this Irish chick hooked up. We had a few great nights of freaking each other's brains out. Come this following week, we played off at work like nothing ever happened. About 2 weeks after that, we were freaking and sucking each other silly after work. I realized after a month that our 20-year difference in age is gonna lead us nowhere together. I break this to her, and she walks to the site parking lot and burns my pickup truck to the ground. Like not even the aluminum rims survived this. She was arrested for arson and laid no charges against her. I got a new truck thanks to insurance. Never frick around with a redhead. They are psycho. You fricked around with a redhead? Come on, you gotta know they have no souls. Story 6. A dude asked me over to his house to study. He put on some corn and asked to please me. I said no, and then he figured he'd ask if he could blow me. I rejected him and told my mom to come get me. He persisted the whole time. Then at school, every time he saw me, he very loudly called me gay to everyone around him. I am not into dudes, and he was in the closet. Honestly, I just smiled and kept moving every time, and he eventually gave up. I think he came out 2 years later and was one of the 4 dudes in school in revolving relationships with each other. Story 7. Dated a girl from work. After a few dates, I didn't see it going much further. Ended it. Girl pretty much spread around we freaked at work. We didn't. That single-handedly cost me any kind of promotion or horizontal move off of what I was doing. So I ended up changing jobs about 12 months later after every application for promotion was given to someone else despite myself having a lot more experience / know-how with what we did. Prior to that, I was being moved around from project to project. After, I just went back to permanent nights. Said girl went on to get pregnant about 6 months later by someone else from work. Lesson, don't dip your wake in company ink. I have never heard that expression before today, and I will use it every day from now on, Lamau. Story 8. We dated a few times and I decided that, while she was nice, I wasn't interested in pursuing a long-term relationship with her. I thought it would be best to let her know face to face rather than over text, so we met up for a drink in the city. I made sure we got a booth for some privacy, and told her that it had been nice, but that I don't think taking things further was gonna work. She began to cry uncontrollably and very loudly, demanding what she'd done wrong. Even from our booth, people started looking over at us. Maybe it was unfair of me to do in public, but honestly, we'd only gone out for dinner and drinks about 4 times by that stage, so I wasn't expecting her to react so strongly. Story 9. I broke up with this girl and she didn't want to. She tried to talk me out of it and then tried to sexually assault me by pinning my hands with her knees and trying to take my pants off. Being bigger and stronger, I just stood up and dumped her on the floor. I never thought about sexual assault the same again after that. One time later, my other ex, my best friend, was visiting and she came over. Things seemed to be going okay when all of a sudden she leapt in the air and tried to come down on my chest with her knees, like some kind of wrestling move. I was so mad. I literally threw her out my front door and told her to get the frick out of my life. Turns out she was jealous of our friendship. I don't think I ever saw her again. And for the record, the spicy stuff was good. You know what they say. No, I don't. Can someone please tell me? Story 10. Met some friends at a bar event. Friends had a girl who was beyond plastered with them. Friends mentioned going back to their place. I decide to buy a burrito and go home. Girl says I should come with, but I respectfully decline. She demands I come with. I decline again. Well, at least give me a goodnight kiss if you're not going to come with me. I pass because I do not know her. I'm not remotely into her and do not want to know her. The girl goes bat poop. She's shrieking obscenities at me, trying to slap me from the railing she's against, just losing her mind. My friends are trying to calm her down and just pieced out through the kitchen because I worked there. Story 11. Was in New York during Fleet Week, in my dress whites with my group, waiting to cross the street. Drunk girl comes up to me, grabs me and says she's always wanted to be with a sailor. I gently stiff my arm and let her know I'm happily married, but point out my young single shipmate in the group. But I want you. Her friends had arrived at this point. She told them I was being mean because I said no and started crying. The friends confronted me. It's her birthday though. Your wife isn't even here. Just be nice. Oh, so cheating is now considered being nice. Cool. Story 12. In high school, this girl would not stop texting me, so I blocked her. She then went on to tell her friend she was depressed and couldn't get over me even though I rarely spoke to her in person, only through her constant stream of messages. After that, she fainted almost once a day during class, but coincidentally only in classes she shared with me. Then would cry to her friends that I was the reason she was fainting. Of course though, she never hurt herself during these faints and always managed to land comfortably on the ground. She also used to just storm out the door in the middle of class and literally fall out the door. I don't know, man. Sounds legit to me. What did you do to the poor girl? Story 13. One took it gracefully. We were great friends and had never been mentioned again. One took it okay enough. Conversations got colder, but no baggage. One couldn't take no for an answer. Every conversation progressed to, do you want to / why don't you want to date me? Got old quickly. I tried being nice and letting her off easy, but she wouldn't stop. Cut her out of my life, but the last thing she told me was, I'll wait for you. I'm not even good looking. Story 14. Not me, but my best friend in school. She came onto him hard, in public. There were about a dozen people around. He was startled and turned her down. He then started screaming, stamping her feet, and crying. Then she told all her friends that she would unalive herself. They tried to guilt my friend with that, but he managed to shrug it off. The whole day blew off in 3 days. High school was weird. Story 15. Pulled a knife on me, like a kitchen knife in the middle of school. I feared my life. She swung at me a few times and gashed my cheek. Then she started slashing at herself before teachers apprehended her. She was screaming all the while as well, and people wonder why I don't like Doki Doki Literature Club. Story 16. She cried and was wailing because she was ugly and it's her weird nose in public. I told her it wasn't, and it's me. I used to think it wasn't shallow, but her nose was Mount Everest and an uncanny valley at the same time. She later said slap my peen on her nose to get off. Story 17. A girl in high school out of the blue started describing what our house would be like once we got married and had kids. Told her that I really wasn't interested and she lost her goddamn mind. For like 2 weeks, she'd wait by the doors after school just to glare at me. Never said anything, just glared. She's practicing that wife glare for when you're not home in time for dinner. Story 18. A girl at work started playing some aggressive footsie at work. When I pushed her foot away and gave her a look, she went on to tell me I'm not as attractive as I think and that I should be dating girls in my own league. Did she just insult herself? Story 19. I came home from work to find her naked on my bed about a week after we broke up. She went into complete denial about the breakup, and for months after, she would tell people we were still dating / show up at my house. Story 20. Girl asked me to prom. Told her I wasn't planning on going because I wasn't interested. Told her I had to work anyway. Asked for a few days to change my work schedule so I could go. I politely declined and she understood. Story 21. Rejected 3 different girls in a 2-month span and all 3, what, are you gay? No? So I'm ugly? I didn't say that. Word for word, every incident, LOL. One of them was kinda ugly though. Story 22. Told everyone in the office I was gay. I have no problem with gay people, so I played along. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more videos to come or else this spider will be in your bed tonight.